maintain 3,000 within 5 miles of Syracuse, departure frequency 126.12, squawk 3401, and sorry about that, yeah, I have information, India, Archer 38254.
Archer 254, readback is correct, and we did just have a Skylane go just south of the airfield at 4,500, and they said moderate chop, occasionally moderate turbulence at 45. So you may want to pick a different altitude, but your readback is correct, and enjoy your flight. Have a good day.
You know what, can I go up at 6,500 then?
Archer 254, I will show that change, and have a great day.
All right, thank you, Archer 254.
I recorded this video about 3 months ago, and it's right after a long layoff from flying. This was March when I recorded this, and over the winter season I didn't have much of an opportunity to fly. There was weather, my own schedule, I had a couple of bouts of COVID, and I just did not get in the air very much at all. And with the loss of that time in the air, I knew I was losing proficiency, and as I realized I was losing proficiency, I was losing confidence in my ability to go out and fly. I'd gone up with an instructor a couple of times to try to clean off the rust, but I would reserve the plane from my club, and I'd get ready to go up, and I realized I was making excuses not to go because I was just really nervous. And I knew I had to get over that, so I forced myself to get in the plane this day. I told myself this is kind of a make or break flight for me. The first time I'd soloed in months. So I set myself a couple of requirements for this flight. It had to be solo. I had to get in the plane by myself without an instructor next to me. And it had to be cross country. I wanted to go at least 50 miles and get in the air. So that's what this flight is about. And I can't stress how much of a big deal this was for me. And when I was done, how this really started me getting over this serious case of jitters for flying. I was considering hanging it up before I took this flight. When I started editing this video, I was putting in these text callouts on the screen of all the little mistakes I made. And I realized after about an hour of editing that I made a lot of mistakes, too many to call out. So if you're watching this video and you see a mistake, yeah, I know. I have watched this video dozens and dozens of times, and I've debriefed it, and I know all the mistakes I've made. And it's from lack of proficiency. And it's been a great tool for me. The unedited version of this has been a great tool for me to go back and pay attention to those things in flights since.
Canandaigua Airport. Automated weather observation 2015 Zulu weather wind 300 at 13 gust 16 visibility 10 clear below 12,000 temperature 15 Celsius 2.2 altimeter.
That's up there, approach, that's for the 6125 Bravo.
The flight to this point had been very smooth. As the controller had warned me, it was a bit bumpy up to about 5,000 feet, but then it smoothed out. My radio calls were pretty good overall. About 20 miles out from my destination, I grabbed the weather, as you just heard. You can see me thinking about the winds. 13 gusting 16, only 10 degrees off runway heading was just above my minimum, so I was considering just overflying my destination and then returning home. But in the end, this flight is about confidence and stretching a little bit. So I decided to get in the pattern, and if on final I didn't think I could handle it, I'd just go around at that time and return home.
Rochester approach, Archer 38254 has Canandaigua in sight. Cancel flight following at this time.
Archer 38254, roger, you got traffic here 12 o'clock and 7 miles, appears eastbound on untype altitude indicates 2,500. Looks like they're turning northbound now, should be no factor. Radar service terminated, squawk VFR, frequency changes approved, see ya.
Squawk VFR, frequency change approved, Archer 254, thanks. Canandaigua traffic, Archer 254 is left downwind runway 31, Canandaigua. 1 notch of flaps. Canandaigua traffic, Archer 254 is left base, runway 31, Canandaigua. Canandaigua traffic, Archer 254 is final, runway 31, Canandaigua.
My pattern at Canandaigua was terrible. I was too tight on my downwind leg. That caused me to drastically overfly final. I considered going around when I was so far overflown, but I had a lot of room to get back. My altitude was good, and I just kept going in. And I was able to get somewhat stable and get it down for a landing. It was a bit of a firm landing, as you'll see, but it wasn't my worst, but certainly a lot of room for improvement. So I made this landing and was just ready to go back to my home airport and do it again.
I'll take it. Canandaigua traffic, Archer 38254 is taking runway 31 for departure to the west, Canandaigua. Sorry, departure to the east, Canandaigua. Alright, winds are a crosswind from the left. Okay, here we go. Power set. Engine instruments all look good. Airspeed's alive. Okay, rotate. There we go. Looking for VY. There's VY. Traffic Cherokee 9855 Whiskey, base runway 28 please. Canandaigua traffic, Archer 254 is turning crosswind, runway 31, Canandaigua. So this was kind of a big deal flight for me. I haven't flown by myself. I think it's...
2014, I'm in the instructions, fly heading 080 vector for traffic.
Alright, 080 now, what's your flight 2014?
I don't think I've flown by myself since September or October of last year. That's 7 months. I've flown with a passenger, flown with my dad. I've flown with an instructor a couple of times. But weather and a couple of bouts of COVID and schedule and night, it getting dark early in the evening just made it really difficult for me to get in the air. And there's a lot of hesitation to me coming up. Today's not a perfectly calm day. It's a little bit breezy right at my minimums. But I know to get over these jitters, I have to push myself. And I'm prepared to go around on my landing. I did a landing back at Canandaigua. It was okay. It was, Not a bad crosswind, but a crosswind for me nonetheless. Anyways, yeah, just a big deal. We're gonna land in Syracuse. I'm sure that'll be fine. But yeah, it's a big deal for me today.
Arch 3254, traffic is it's a Airbus 321 on a 3-mile final to runway 28. Caution wake turbulence, still cleared to land runway 28.
Caution wake turbulence, still clear to land, Archer 254. First notch of flaps. Gas is switched, undercarriage fixed, mixture is rich. Pitch is set, seat belts and switches are all where we want. Watch your speed.
Picard 3587, Syracuse ground runway 28, taxi via Delta, Mike Alpha, cross runway 33. Oscar 254, turn left Juliet, taxi to Freeman via Yankee, remain this frequency.
Turn left on Juliet, taxi Freeman via Yankee. I'll stay with you. Archer 254. Well, that was a pretty ugly landing.
I had a lot of mixed feelings coming out of this flight. Happy with myself that I made myself get in the plane and do it. Frustrated with myself at the mistakes that I knew I made along the way and how I had lost proficiency in some key areas. Satisfaction that I can identify those places and work on them. And it's been 3 months since I recorded this, and I've got another 10 or 11 flights under my belt. I went out with an instructor specifically to work on some of my problem areas, and I'm much more comfortable in the plane than I was then. I'm never going to be a pilot who is flying multiple times a week, and I think 5 or 6 times a month where I am in my life right now would be a lot. So proficiency is always going to be a challenge for me. I just have to, when I get up there and do the work and keep the rust off as much as I can. But being able to feel more confident in the plane was really critical to me. This flight was maybe as important to me as my first solo flight.